Okay, namaste. Swamiji, first of all, I want to ask you what is the role of a Swami? What's your line? Or what place you belong? We are talking to our students in Brazil, a place that you already know. I'm really, really glad and surprised that you've been there. Probably you know Brazil better than I do.
Well, so there are various terms used for a spiritual seeker who reaches a certain stage or who has devoted himself completely for spiritual experiences, and that is called as a Swami or Yogi or Babaji, some people call them.
Hmm.
So, the basic understanding in these terms is he is a person who has devoted 100% for the spiritual experimentation. That is the definition of a Swami. So the
Hmm.
spirit matters over the matter in his life. So the constant focus or the matter of contemplation for him is focusing on the spirit, on the very reason of our existential reality. So anybody who is living with this uh, focus is called as a Swami or Yogi or Babaji,
Hmm.
so on. As far as I am concerned, I was born in the south central India near Mumbai, so on the border of Karnataka and Maharashtra. And for many years, I have been wandering all over India, different places, in ashrams, in temples, in the accompanying the gurus of various traditions, and I have been leading my own spiritual practice. I'm not subscribed to any typical institution, but many institutions have associated myself with them. So,
So you start collecting a kind of information, knowledge, and creating your own line, your own.
precisely,
Uh-huh.
because various lines which we have presently, uh, what you can say, the traditions, those traditions sometimes become rigid, sometimes lose the significance with the passage of time. So, the redefining of the tradition or bringing the essence from the tradition and applying it to the modern times becomes a very necessary thing. So,
It's very important to
yeah,
apply with the modern
modern
times.
times, exactly. So, my focus remains on that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you told me that you've been to Brazil, you travel sometimes to other places. What do you feel? What do you have seen in these different countries, in these different cultures, and how it can be taken all your knowledge, all your tradition to the modern society, especially the Western society?
Well, the modern society is kind of a society where the dominance of machine is visible, and the natural human existence with a very cordial relationship with the nature is what God has created all of us like that. So when the machine dominance is there, so many emotions, so many human existential realities, they are compromised. That's why the modern societies or the Western societies, especially in the developed world, we see that the human existence itself is compromised and humans are leading less human life. And when I go to the countries like Brazil or for that matter, different parts of India,
Hmm.
I see abundance of nature, and nature is quite a connecting factor between India and Brazil. Nature is the facilitator of spiritual journey. All the sages, all the yogis, all the babas, all swamis who have attained their knowledge, or the concept of Ayurveda, which you have been giving to the people, which you are doing a great job by bringing Ayurveda to the people of Brazil, that itself has evolved in the company of nature. Unless there are trees, herbs, plants, Ayurveda has no meaning or significance. So, this cordial relationship with the nature is a very important factor to lead high conscious life. And for that, nature is required. And I think Brazil is a blessed country in that regard, with lot of nature around, with lot of abundance around. We need to redefine our relationship with the nature and with the practices of yoga, Ayurveda, meditation, pranayam, or all the practices which the Vedic literature and Vedic tradition defines. All of them are very useful in a country like Brazil, where the abundance of nature is kind of a God's gift to the population over there.
And sometimes it's just right there, and we don't give any value
Value to
of
it.
this.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So we basically take it for granted.
Yeah.
We take for granted all the greenery around. We don't even understand the specifications of it, the variety of it lying over there, its use in different seasons, its blessings in different seasons and times, what the plants are doing in day and night. We have no time to, give our focus or attention on these aspects of research. Rather, we just look at it as a greenery. We just look at it as a view, and that's all. That's how we recognize the beauty which God has given.
You were saying about season. I remember when I was a kid. I'm almost 53 now, and we had some fruits that belonged for that season. Now you go everywhere and you have almost every fruit, every vegetable, because we're trying to interfere so much in the nature
Nature.
that we don't know, or at least we don't have this knowledge of what nature is giving us naturally
Hmm.
to support our lives.
Yeah, exactly. So, coming back to the point where I said that the dominance of machine.
Mhm.
So, this is also the impression of time which God has created. And as you said, the seasons, importance of seasons, and the fruits, eating the fruits of a given season, that used to be the normal practice. That itself is the Ayurvedic practice. But we have forgotten that because our taste or the tongue demands that in the cold season also we want to eat mango, so we seek for mango, and the machine dominance has given us the mango. So machine has created this kind of illusion, which is, when I say machine, the modern science, it is the representation for modern science.
Mhm.
So modern science has created this illusion which takes us away from the nature's patterns. Machine is not that insignificant also. Had it not been important, we would not have done those so many scientific innovations. So machine is important, but with the given times, my advice to the population is to use the machine to go close to the nature instead of being subservient to the machine and getting away from the nature. We have to be wisdomful enough to use the machine to go close to the nature. For example, you have flight down from Sao Paulo to India, so you have used the machine to reach here. So machine is important,
Important,
but
of
you have
course.
used it not to party here or not to wine and dine and do the drugs here, but you have been doing it to gain the knowledge about the nature, about the uh, bringing health with the help of Ayurveda for the people of Brazil. So this is a wise decision. So we have to be wise in bringing the balance between the nature and the machine.
What is the best daily practice for a person, for example, who lives in Sao Paulo? As you know, Sao Paulo is a big city like Delhi, like Mumbai, and people are more and more getting far from the nature. They are more involved with the machine, as you
Machine,
say.
yeah.
What is the best practice, even
Yes.
in a weekend? For example, a daily practice during the weekend for the
Mhm.
family. Okay, we cannot live without the machine, but what we can do in our houses when we are together, when we have free time, trying to restore our balance. What is the best practice in your opinion?
As far as the cities are concerned, and Sao Paulo represents one of the biggest city culture, I think the regular practice of yoga and pranayam. is it should be made must. Government should bring the legislation that every person living in Sao Paulo should be doing yoga and pranayam regular. That itself will bring the health and peace of mind to the people of Sao Paulo. But as I say, pranayam, the air over there is quite polluted.
That's
You
it.
can understand. Then doing yoga itself, the busy lifestyle doesn't give you time to give or do enough yoga asanas every morning. So, as you rightly said, weekends can be kind of the time frames can be used as recharging oneself. So, use your weekend to go to a nearby place which is close to the ocean or in the mountains, which is little away from the polluted air, and recharge yourself by being in the practice of yoga asanas, by doing the pranayam, by doing meditation, by walking in the nature, the mindful walks in the nature, everything that helps you to de-stress, that can be utilized. And again, you are back to the lifestyle, city lifestyle, where which is also useful for making money and living or assuring the sustenance of yourself and your family. So we cannot deny the fact that it's
But
a
when we come back from a weekend like that, as you're suggesting, we certainly will come back much more conscious of
exactly,
our limits, of what
exactly,
we're doing, what we are
exactly,
reception from our
exactly,
for daily living.
exactly. So a person living in the cities cannot dream for the highest goal of being a yogi or
Hmm.
being a highest spiritual reality. The reason is there are so many limitations there. So to begin with, just escaping for a week on the weekends and getting enough charge from the nature, energy from the nature, and as you rightly said, coming back more conscious to the city environment and leading happy life.
Thank you very much.
Hariom, thank you very much.